Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here of Busch Gardens. I'm excited to do some more theming today. Here's a little screenshot of what we're going to do. Let's get straight into it. Roll the intro. Hey guys, as you can see here, I actually have a log flume. Ignore that, that's going to be deleted. I wanted to have like a nice water ride in this area, but it didn't quite work out, so that's going to be deleted soon. But underneath that, I wanted to do like a nice Japanese waterfall area with some Japanese tea houses. So just before I get on to talking about that, I'm just going to explain, talk about actually, I've just been on a little theme park trip and I thought it'd be cool to talk about it. I actually went to Poland. It was really cheap to fly there, not far away from me at all, and it was really good. I went to Legendia to ride the Lech Coaster, and then I went to Energylandia to ride all the coasters there, mainly because of Hyperion. It was really good, really enjoyed it. The parks are really cheap, Poland's really cheap, and everything was really easy to get to, and the parks were cool. Legendia is definitely more of like a half-day kind of park. I went there obviously just to ride the Lech Coaster, which was really awesome. The first time I rode it, I was a bit underwhelmed because I was kind of expecting a little bit more. But the more I rode it, the more I appreciated it and actually really enjoyed it. It's a really good coaster, really smooth for a Vekoma. And I actually had a little grey out moment on the first inversion because it was quite intense. I managed to ride the coaster 5 times. There was no line and I could just sit on it and go round and round. But it was a little bit intense to keep doing that. But it was really good fun coaster. The rest of the park is kind of nice. Nothing really too special. The main attraction there obviously is that roller coaster. But it was really cool, and if you're around or want to go there, it's definitely worth going to for maybe half a day. And then obviously then we've got Energylandia, which was really cool. The park has a lot of family rides, especially the coasters. There's 12 roller coasters and a lot of them are actually family rides, but there are some major rides as well for the thrill seekers like myself. But yeah, it was really a really good day. The only thing I have to say about the park that's kind of negative, I guess, is that the entrances and exits to the rides were really confusing. Like, I couldn't figure out sometimes where the entrances were, and sometimes the exit looked like the entrance. So that's the only thing I have to say. But the main coaster there, really, the reason why I went to that park is Hyperion, which is an Intamin hyper coaster, and it is so good. I've ridden Millennium Force and I've ridden some other hyper coasters like Shambhala, Nitro, and Mako, and Silver Star. And I mean, Silver Star for me is a disappointment along with Nitro. They're not quite as good at hyper coasters as some of the other ones out there. And Shambhala was really one of my favorites. Behind that is Mako. They're really kind of the much better B&M hypers. But this Intamin hyper coaster was just another level. It was way better than Millennium Force. Millennium Force for me was cool, but it was just fast and it had these kind of big curves. There was not enough sharp transitions and airtime. Whereas Hyperion, the airtime was insane and the transitions were really sharp and whippy, and it was just a really good roller coaster from beginning to end. And that first drop, which is 85 degrees, is really steep. And I just thought it was so good. And actually on the first hill, the first airtime hill after the drop, has I counted a good solid 5 seconds of airtime out of your seat, and it was just really awesome. And I have to put it up there with one of my favorite coasters, along with Maverick in Topfield Dragster, King Dakar, and El Toro. It was really good, so definitely worth a visit. It's really cheap to get there and really cheap to go into the park, so if you're around, I'd definitely recommend it. I'm going to have to go back again in the future, maybe in a couple of years when they've built their RMC coaster, and also they've got some other coasters planned. So now back into my park here, Busch Gardens. I've just decided to do some nice theming here on this hillside in front of the Arrow coaster, and I thought it'd be really cool to do a nice waterfall feature coming down, and alongside it coming down the hill, some Japanese tea houses, and I've done some like nice little pink kind of Japanese cherry blossom trees. And this is all just some theming just to kind of make the area look really pretty. And I wanted to make use of this hillside here. As you saw, I was going to do a log flume, but I'm going to do that somewhere else in the park. Just didn't think it fitted in quite as well here. But I'm really happy with how this turned out actually. I think it's really kind of pretty, and it's a nice kind of an area for photographs, maybe the guest who'd want to take pictures in front of a nice background. It's a nice kind of place to do it, and also it's kind of framed by the roller coaster, which I think is really nice. So I'm just going to go in now and do some custom supporting on this arrow coaster. The supports are kind of just made like a basic blueprint of one structure, and then I can stack it up and make other ones a bit more easily. So that's kind of how I've done that quite quickly there. And I'm going to go for this kind of nice tree green colour, which will blend into the trees and the surrounding area nicely. And then obviously I've got this big red train, which I think is really striking on that black track. I'm just going to go in now and do some of the diagonal kind of arrow supports. This was a little bit more tricky because doing things on diagonal in these kind of games is always a bit more tricky, but I kind of do it in a way. But yeah, I mean, supporting this for me is really important because I really want it to have that classic arrow look, and I think without doing these kind of box kind of supports, it wouldn't look quite right. So that's why I'm spending kind of the time to do that and kind of flicking through all these different pieces to see what looks best and to build these structures. And then obviously I'm going to use some normal still supports and go in and do the inversions like the loop and everything. So I'll actually get on in a second to doing the loop supports. Not too difficult. I've just used the supports mod that's available on the Steam Workshop. If you are wondering where I get the mods from, they're from the Steam Workshop. And yeah, I'm just going to go in and do some more supports. I don't quite finish the supports today in this video, but I shall probably finish them in the next episode, I should imagine, so I can get on to a bit more of the area and the theming. But as you can see, it's really starting to take shape now. I have like a basic layout of this area. Just kind of wanted to figure out what to do with the front of this waterfall area. And I kind of toyed around with some ideas and kind of put some rides and flat rides in front of it to see what looked best. But I think it was nice just to kind of leave it bare, and I'm actually going to extend the water out a little bit and have the water then flow into the main lake in the front. But I thought it'd be cool to do this kind of risen wooden kind of platform here and have the water underneath. So that'd be quite a nice little kind of area to chill, walk around, and then there'll be a path off the side from that leading through the trees up into a new area in the back of the park. So that's the idea. Here I'm just going to join up the water to the main kind of lake of the park. So I'm enjoying that. As you can see, I've put a top scan flat ride there, and I don't actually know if any of the Busch Gardens parks ever had one. They don't have one currently, but I've put one in there just because I kind of ran out of flat rides from the options in the game. There's not like a great amount of flat rides in the Busch Gardens parks, but they do have a few, and the ones that I kind of want aren't really in the game, and the top scan actually kind of fitted the best here. And obviously I'm thinking about Samurai, which is at Thorpe Park, and it's like a perfect fit for this kind of area, so I'm going to kind of steal that idea and put that there. So maybe that's the only ride in this park that doesn't quite fit into the Busch Gardens kind of lineup of rides, but because it's a flat ride we can kind of see past it, and as long as the coasters kind of match that style of a Busch Gardens park, then I'm all good. So that's what I'm going to go for there. I'm just going to let you now watch me complete these supports here on the loop, and that's basically it for today. And I've put some screenshots at the end of this video just so you can see what I've been working on and what I'm doing. I'll try and get another episode out quicker than I did this time. Like I said, I was busy in Poland with the theme park, that's why it's taking me a bit longer this week. But thanks for watching. If you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.